Do you feel that? It feels like we are slowly returning to a sense of normalcy as Donald Trump not only has defeated the deep state, the corrupt lawfare used against him, but now the walls are ever so slowly, I will admit, moving in on those that seek to bend the law, to prosecute the man, to try and stop him from being president. We now can report, hopefully you leave a like on the video for this one, Donald Trump has defeated the $500 million absurd lawsuit that was levied against him in New York in a case in which there was literally no party that was wronged. One of the most corrupt cases I've ever seen. He received a $464 million penalty. Here is the report on that. We've also got some Gavin Newsom news and some Ukraine news, so stick around here.
An appeals court has just thrown out President Donald Trump's $364 million civil fraud penalty. This just happened. It is a developing story. We're getting a lot more information, a big news story for the day. We're going to bring you more details as we get them. This just in. Also want to bring you this because this has been...
That's it? Oh, okay. Sometimes not watching the clip before blows up in my face. Trump's massive $500 million civil fraud suit in AG Trish James's case thrown out by New York appeals court. The New York appeals court in Thursday threw out the massive $464 million judgment dealt to President Trump after he was found liable in a civil trial for business fraud. Now, we all know that this was, the banks got their money, everybody got their money. Essentially, he overvalued some property to get some more favorable loans or whatever. Basically, everyone does this. Jon Stewart of The Daily Show, who did a whole segment about it, also did this. The appellate division, First Department, overturned the whopping fine in the case. Trump, 79, was found to have fraudulently inflated his net worth by billions of dollars over a decade to get a better loan and insurance terms. Now, the loan and insurance were paid back. There were no victims in this case. Trump would have had to pay a total of more than $500 million, including more than $100 million in interest, had the February 2024 ruling from Manhattan Court Justice loser Arthur Engoron been upheld. Remember, wasn't that the judge that people said he's like a creepazoid at the gym? I can't remember. There's so many slime balls. The appeal court's decision follows a theatrical 11-week trial that threatened to derail Trump's image as a real estate tycoon and brand him as a fraudster as he campaigned to regain the White House. Trial evidence revealed that Trump secured a cushy interest rates between 2011 and 2021, but after goosing up the value of his assets, like his Big Apple penthouse and his Mar-a-Lago estate on financial papers. Trump's business falsely claimed that his Trump Tower triplex was 30,000 square feet, rather its true size was 11,000 square feet, and used the phony figures to pump up the pad's value to $327 million in 2015 after claiming it was worth $80 million just 4 years ago. Now, again, screw the banks. If you can, look, I'm not telling you to, commit fraud, but I don't care if somebody is tweaking the values of their properties to pay less taxes or to pay better interest rates. It's absurd. The city where I live, at 42 years old, I use almost none of their resources. I'm basically a shut-in. I leave the house like once a week. I have 0 kids in school. I have my own. I don't use any city water. I don't use any city electricity. I don't use any city service. The city doesn't plow my driveway. None of that stuff. And I pay just in property taxes almost $20,000 a year. Okay. So I don't care if people have a problem, if people are going to try to pay less on their property taxes or get a better loan. I don't care. Property taxes are ridiculous. You never actually own anything. You just pay the government money to exist constantly. It's absurd. It's fraudulent. Trump also valued Mar-a-Lago at $517 million on financial filing, despite his own tax broker admitting to listing the estate at just $27 million in 2020. A witness revealed Mar-a-Lago is worth way more than $27 million. Again, I don't care about any of this stuff. Why? First of all, F the government and F taxes. But second of all, and more importantly, the only reason that these charges were ever brought against him was when the federal attorney general or somebody, some corrupt loser at the top, I think it's Alvin Bragg, bent the law, bent the system so that they could bring these charges in the first place. Trump was never, they were doing anything they could to try and derail his presidency. And it was so nakedly obvious that this was nonsense that, everybody in the world was like, what? And then they give him this insane $500 million lawsuit. Now, Big Trish, very large black woman who is here smiling, you can tell through her 4 chins. Well, things haven't been going so well for her. As of yesterday, a Department of Justice prosecutor investigating New York Attorney General Letitia James was seen posing for photos outside of her home. Ed Martin, president of Donald Trump's Justice Department weaponization chief, called for the resignation of New York Attorney General Letitia James and posed for photos outside of her Brooklyn home last week, all as he is conducting investigations into her conduct. I have said this before. You can disagree with me. That's fine. I am, leave a like on the video if you agree. I am in my no apologies era, and I am in my I don't care. They weaponized this stuff against Donald Trump when he was running for president. I 100% support him weaponizing it, at least against those that did it against him, right? Corrupt judges who are, politicizing everything, who are trying to go against him for political clout. Get him out of there. Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, get him out of there. You say, well, Jeremy, you said you don't care about mortgage fraud. Yeah, I don't actually. But for Letitia James, I'll make a special exception, okay? For Alvin Bragg, I'll make a special exception. For all these people that cheered on, supported what was very obviously lawfare, I don't care. You get what you deserve. Since the beginning of the investigation into James, Martin has taken several unusual steps to fall outside the norms of prosecutorial conduct. He sent a letter to James' attorney on August 12th, suggesting New York's top law enforcement officer resign. He appeared outside James's home with a colleague, trailed by, hey, why aren't we raiding it? I think Trump should be raiding it. Why about 3 a.m.? 2 to 3 a.m., Trump should be raiding Letitia James's home, should be raiding Alvin Bragg's home, Judge Engeron, any of these people, those dorks in Atlanta, don't think I forgot about them, that tried to bring up RICO charges on President Trump, only to bring him in for a mugshot that spectacularly backfired, and he used it to raise hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. This is crazy. This is a criminal investigation, not social media, said Ali Honig, CNN senior legal analyst. Well, now they care about decorum. Now they care about what people should be doing. No, I don't care. Drag this woman, humiliate her publicly. Her, Alvin Bragg, everyone behind the Mar-a-Lago raid. If you have just cause to be raiding their homes, we should be doing that. We should be raiding the homes of those corrupt attorneys in Georgia. The one that was banging her assistant district attorney or whatever it was. Get them out of here. All right. If we can't put them in jail, then we can at least humiliate them. And I 100% support it. Call me petty. You'll be right. I'm okay with that. I'm in my no apologies era. Justice Department policy generally prohibits discussing criminal investigations. Again, she now faces investigation. Hopefully she will be resigning in disgrace sooner than later. Gavin Newsom getting desperate. Donald is finished. Newsom goes on offense with Trump mockery campaign. Who follows Gavin Newsom? Who follows Gavin Newsom at all?
Newsom and his team.
Trump trolled? I don't think, again, it's 2025 and the left still hasn't learned how to meme.
Figured out a very entertaining way to deal with Donald Trump at his own rhetorical level. They've got a new social media strategy that is both, I got to say, pretty damn funny and I think extremely effective, mocking the president with a...
Based on what? That a bunch of people who already don't like Donald Trump like and retweet it? We'll see how the ratings for South Park are going at the end of the year if they decide to make all 10 episodes about Orange Man bad.
A spot-on impression of his very weird communication style. Since Newsom jumped into the ongoing redistricting fight, his official Twitter account has been posting Trump style. Donald is finished. He is no longer hot. First the hand, so tiny. And now me, Gavin C. Newsom, have taken away his step. Many are saying we can't even do the big stairs on Air Force One anymore. Uses the little baby stairs now. Sad. Has all the Trump trademarks, all capital letters, random quotation marks, little parentheticals. Complete
Is that
Trump
that's humor?
Letters,
well, let's see.
now.
The news
Sad.
is covering this. Okay, what is it? Governor press office. Let's see how well this governor press office. Okay, let's see how this is, how it's totally crushing it. Wow. 19,000 tweets. Wow. Or 19,000 likes. Is that it? And by the way, why don't you tell, well, this one has 100,000, pretty good. But like, we'll see how they go. Like this will be funny in a week. And to be honest, why is he picking a fight with Trump? Because he's running against JD Vance, most likely. He's not going to beat JD Vance acting like Trump. Speaking of Trump, he is now seemingly, he's turning up the pressure on both Russia and Ukraine, as this morning, apparently it was a Ukrainian that was found guilty of blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. I think that's awfully convenient timing. And in the same day, Trump tweets, it's very hard, if not impossible, to win a war without attacking an invader's country. It's like a great team in sports that has a fantastic defense but isn't allowed to play offense. There's no chance of winning. It's like with both Ukraine and Russia. Crooked and grossly incompetent Joe Biden would not let Ukraine fight back, only defend. How does that work out? Regardless, this is a war that should never have happened. If I were president, zero chance, interesting times ahead. He's basically saying, he may greenlight Ukrainian offensive. I think this is just him negotiating. That on top of Tulsi Gabbard fired 40% of the spy agency in a deep state purge. This was a nice bit of momentum. Let's see him keep it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it if you haven't yet.